Ladies and gentlemen, at this moment, we continue to Session 1 on Narrowing the Gender Gap, Boosting Economic Growth. Before we begin Session 1, I would like to remind all participants to actively participate in this session by raising questions through slido.com using hashtag VTIWPEI. Before we proceed to Session 1 with all speakers and moderator, we would have keynote session delivered by Minister of Women Empowerment and Child Protection of the Republic of Indonesia. I am very pleased to invite Her Excellency Yohana Susana Yembise to come to the stage.
Good morning. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. May peace be with us. Her Excellency, the Ambassador of Afghanistan, Honorable Ibu Sumiati from the Financial Ministry, distinguished Sahli, Madam Puspita, the Vice Head of the OJK Commissaries, Ibu Nur Haida, my beloved Bupati Jember, which is a lady as well, Ibu Faida, ladies and gentlemen, I'm very happy to be with you here. I just arrived from Iran last night, so I flew directly today from Jakarta to here, attending international seminar on women empowerment, focusing on ICTC, which is led to economic growth. We focus on both countries, so we signed together the MOU between the government of the Islamic Republic with the government of Indonesia. And now I'm here, continue with maybe related seminars on women participation for economic inclusiveness, which is narrowing the gender gap, boosting economic growth. I would like to say a big thank you for the Minister of Finance who invited me to say my speech. And thank you for the committee to give that time for me this morning. Ladies and gentlemen, Indonesia, our ministry, we have worked very hard to involve all the women. We have about 126 million women in Indonesia. We try to empower them, protect them with law based on the CEDAW, the Convention on the Elimination of all forms of discrimination against women. We come up with violence against women law. So we protect them and we empower them. And although women conditions have improved and many perform in recent years, the data shown that women's position and status are still need to be improved in various fields of development. This is evidenced by the data of gender Development Index, GDI, Indonesia is 92.6, while the average world GDI is 93.8. With that number, Indonesia occupies the 6th position of all the ASEAN countries. Then to see how the government evaluating the program of gender empowerment, government used the Gender Empowerment Index, GEI, with the average of Indonesia GEI during 2010 to 2016 is about 70.10. Although the Gender Empowerment Index since 2010 to 2016 increasing every year, however, the fact of inequality between men and women in Indonesia still exists. This is indicated by the Gender Equality Index. In Indonesia is still below from the world GII average. Indonesia GII is 0.44, while the world's GII is 0.46. One of the sectors that shows the gap between men and women is education sector. Indonesian Statistic Agency data indicates that the average woman in Indonesia do not finish junior high school education. This condition causes the labor force participation rate of women who are still far below men. Based on Sakernas National Employment Survey, the data shows that in 2017, the labor force participation rate, or TPAK, of women is 50, lower than men who have reached 83. If I look back at the higher education, the female university students is about 60%, male 40%, the female higher than men. This is the data I got it from the higher education ministry. But when they graduated, there is something interesting here because about 30% of women prefer to go to domestic. So 70% male, yeah, they can reach our goal, I mean their target of active participation in the working place. From the total number of women workforce, women generally work in the informal sector with the largest percentage in agriculture, plantation, and fishery sector, which is 28%. The low labor participation of women has become one of the reasons of the Indonesian labor market of efficiency still at the bottom of the position of 36 out of 137 countries. In addition, Sakernas data 2016 states that although women have the same education, the wages or their salaries they have received are still lower than men. Women as workforce, especially on informal sector, are still faced with limited access to financial and capital resources, access to get information about product on market, and access to get training for skills and product capacity upgrades. We all know that women's role in economic development has shown big impact based on data of Indonesian Statistic Agency on 2014. From the total number of small businesses actors in Indonesia, nearly 70% are managed by women, which contributed 56% to the total national GDP and absorb more than 60% of the national workforce. In order to narrow the gap, especially in the economic field, the Minister of Women Empowerment and Child Protection has developed the policy of home industries that conducted by women with small capital. This scale of business group is still lack of attention, even though this business group needs to be empowered because their significant impact to the nation economic growth. Our program of home industry focus and assist the women, actually those who have a very low income in the family, and also victims of the violence against women, widows. We also have a organization called PECAT, the women who consider themselves as a head of the family, even they are widows to look after the children. And also they are also in the family, still have a husband, but they consider themselves as the machine of the family. So that's our priority programs to look at these vulnerable women. Development policy of home industry, which has been run since 2016, has reached about 3,000 women home industry in 21st district with facilities such as technology training and production equipment assistance. These home industries are the piloted one. Then we can use that to be replicated by the local governments in an effort to empower women in the economic sectors. The results of evaluation that has been done in 2018 showing that some women home industries have benefited and they are as well increasing their family income. It is a proof that the government intervention towards women increased significantly. In general, in order to narrow the gap, the gender gap, the Indonesian government has issued a policy through Presidential Instruction Number 9/2000 on gender mainstreaming in national development as an implementation of the 5th point of Sustainable Development Goal, or SDGs, on gender equality. The policy instructs all the leaders of the government agency, both central and regional, and to integrate gender perspective into all areas of development in order to narrow the gender gap and to achieve gender equality. This can I say that gender equality is one of the key achievements of these SDGs. One thing that also important to narrow the gender gap is to implement strategies for men involvement in women empowerment. We call it He for She campaign. We've already done this in some part of Indonesia, some provinces, to some of the districts as well, even to the university students, because we believe that university students are our future leaders. They need to know this, especially things or policy or commitment on SDGs, which is the target is 2030. And I would like to say as well to all the participants here that Indonesia is appointed as one of the 10 countries who that brings women towards Planet 50/50 by UN Women. I was there. I witnessed the launching of all the head of the countries, all the presidents, prime ministers. They all launched together SDGs in 2015 September. I was together with the vice president, who also represent the president of Indonesia. And they all agreed to save the women because they say women are the pillar that need to be need to be pay attention by all the government because the women are the one who's going to save the future planet, and also the girls. So Indonesia got a very big job. Why the UN Women selected? Because the reason is the majority of the population is Muslim. There is a high tolerance here, and the women considered to be quite developed in Indonesia. So that's why the UN Women appointed Indonesia as one of the 10 countries. Maybe Iceland is the one who, the Iceland country. Yes, a lady from the Iceland country, the very important minister, said to me that they are the one who's going to declare planet 50-50 first. This is a big job. It's not very easy to bring the women, which is, we still live in a very strong patriarchal system. And it is very hard to change the mindset of the men as well. I think I have to say open honestly. We have to work very hard. All the women, 126, should move and take action to show their potential, because they have a very big potential to help the government to work together with men to build this country, especially for the growth for the economic growth. So women empowerment in economic is one of the priority goals of our ministry. In order to bring women to move forward, to reach planet 50-50 2030, we still have about 15 or more or less years to go. We come up with the 3 priority programs. That's after I became a minister for about 1 year. I went around Indonesia, I did a small informal survey and see there are 3 issues that we face in Indonesia. The first one is violence against women and children need to be considered as a very important issues. The second one is trafficking issue. So we have to end the issue of trafficking here in Indonesia as one of the transnational crime. The last one is economic barriers towards women. Women are still struggling. There are a lot of left behind women, and the voices of women are still heard. I mean, they also, whenever I go, they say that they are still suffering. They are the victims of violence, and this is another issue for us to think about. And currently, in the era of ASEAN Economic Community, in line with this ASEAN Economic Community policy, the challenges ahead are greater. So that business actors must have a strong and accurate strategy to keep the business stability, to keep growing and developing. Therefore, women entrepreneurs must do their utmost to build strength, to improve their competitiveness by improving product quality, branding, and especially innovative marketing strategies. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, I think that's all I want to share with you. I wish you luck, success, and enjoy this seminar. I believe the seminar will bring forth fruitful outcomes and generate strategic breakthrough in women participation for economic inclusiveness. I thank you Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. May peace be with us.